As you're trying to figure out how most wisely you can engage with a narcissist, it's of utmost importance to have a certain amount of insight into what's going on inside their psyches. Now, about 25 or more years ago, I came up with a little term that I like to use that describes something that's on the inside of every one of us, including you, including me, and including the narcissist. And we actually approach this a little bit differently depending on where you're coming from. But it's what I call the significance principle. And basically, the significance principle simply states that each person's behaviors and decisions can be strongly driven by the need to feel significant. And when I say significant, it means that you walk away feeling like you matter, or that you're distinct, or that you should be respected, or that your voice is one to be heard. And this is something that we all have on the inside of us, starting way early in life. I mean, think of a 5 or 6 year old kid. They've drawn something or they've done a project, and they want you to come look at it. And they really want to hear you say something like, wow, that's really interesting, or you put a lot of effort into that, because it allows them to walk away feeling like they matter, they're significant, they've done something, it's been acknowledged, they've been acknowledged. And then we adults, we have our craving for significance that comes out in extremely simple ways. You may express an opinion, and you feel glad when other people hear your opinion, or you can talk about your preferences and other people say, well, tell me more. And when that happens, you can feel significant there. When you have a good sense of significance, it means that you have a sense that says, I belong, I'm a part of a unit here, life is good. Now, in general, there are two different ways that you can go about finding your significance. Now, one is you can be an uplifting or a constructive presence in someone else's life. It doesn't matter what kind of vocation or avocation you have. If you know that you're the kind of person that says, you can count on me, or I want to be here to make your life go a little bit better, then you can actually find your significance by knowing that you have a good ethic and you have a good sense of reliability and conscientiousness that leads. And then we have the narcissist. Narcissists want to find their significance too, but they tend not to go the uplifting route. They tend to go to find their significance by becoming destructive. That seems kind of weird, doesn't it? But basically, they honestly have convinced themselves that they their significance lies in direct proportion to their dominance and superiority over you. In other words, to them, significance is a comparative kind of characteristic. I want to compare better than you. I want to be the one that's on the higher end of the seesaw, and don't you forget it. I am a somebody, and I'm a somebody at your expense. That's how narcissists think. And so I want to see if we can go through several different evidences of the narcissist and their craving for significance, and how in doing so, they actually use you as a tool so they can step on and use so they can find it. And I'm hoping eventually you can decide, I'm not going to be anyone's tool. For example, let's start with something real simple. In the way that we present ourselves physically, narcissists, they're drawn towards themes that show that they're a little step above. Sometimes they are the ones that want to be the beautiful people, and they're the ones that have to have everything sculpted correctly. Sometimes they just want to be a little bit different, with their hair and things like that, their clothes, their cars, their house. So many things, so many elements about the way that we present ourselves just in a physical appearance is a way of saying, look at me. I'm a somebody. And the way narcissists do it, it's like, I'm a somebody in a way that you're not. I'm somebody. Or in the way that we like to portray ourselves with respect to knowledge and intelligence. Narcissists don't just want to say, here's something that you might find useful. It's like, no, I'm right. And you need to acknowledge how right and how correct I am. And in fact, if you don't agree with me, that just shows you're an idiot. And so they have this elevation that says, I'm the one that knows everything. They give you a lot of unsolicited advice because I'm a somebody. But I'm a somebody at your expense. That's how the narcissist thinks. Or how about in the way that they posture themselves socially? whether it's inside a family structure or in a social setting or even in places of work. It's like in those kind of structures, that narcissistic person craving significance says, well, around here, when it's me that's involved, we do things my way. My way is the better way, and whether it's the way we schedule things or how we prioritize things. And then that leads to another thought which says, and I don't need to listen to you. I mean, do you know who I am? And so we do things around here on my terms, not yours. And that's how they build significance socially. They're the ones whose opinion matters the most. Or many times their drive or their craving for significance is revealed in the way that they manage their emotions. For example, you know that I have a deep history of doing a lot of anger management work. And one of the things I try to teach people is you can have anger and respectfulness and conscientiousness at the same time. Imagine that, novel idea. When a narcissist becomes angry, that becomes their way of trying to drill their significance into the other person. Narcissists, with their anger, are more or less trying to say, you better see me as a force to be reckoned with. Have I made myself clear? And they can do the blaming and the shaming and all of that. They can be very dominant in the way that they manage their anger because I'm a somebody. I'm significant and I need you to affirm that. Or maybe they go into the passive aggressive way of managing their anger. It's like, okay, if you displease me, I'll make you pay. So they ignore you, or they procrastinate, they refuse to cooperate, they won't handle things in a timely way. Why? Because I'm a somebody in a way that you're not. I do things in the way that I want to do it. You don't really matter. Or many times, narcissists show their craving for significance just by their raw egotism. In other words, their sense of entitlement. Through their egotism, that's their way of saying the world out there exists to make me feel good. And so what are you going to do for me next? And they want to look good. They want you to do favors for them. They're unwilling to do things necessarily that's going to help you unless it somehow or another comes back on themselves. They don't like to be inconvenienced or have to do some things that makes them feel uncomfortable. They just want you to do things that make them feel comfortable. That's part of their craving for significance. I'm different. I'm the top dog around here. Or their craving for significance is illustrated in the ways that they manage conflicts. Another thing that I like to teach is we can handle conflict in such a way where it's educational and informational and coordinated and trying to create a sense of community. Narcissist is like, I'm going to beat you and I'm going to pound you into submission. And if you don't do what I want, I'll punish you. I'll put guilt trips on you. I'm going to shame you into compliance. Why? Because I have to be a somebody. So we all have that need to be significant, but I want you to think about the narcissist craving for significance and how they turn it into something that's just problematic from the get-go. They just simply can't be significant in and of themselves while also allowing you to be significant. You see, real significance happens when you're the kind of person that says, I want to find my place of peace. I want to bring an uplifting presence towards others. I want to look for opportunities to serve and to help. Truly people that have their sense of significance, they like to do things like volunteer. You see, there's another term that I have relative to this topic. It's what I call the significance paradox. And the significance paradox says the best way for you to feel significant is to help someone else be significant. When you've done some things that lets other individuals know, I care about you, I want the best for you, do you walk away feeling terrible about yourself? No, the more you bring healthy ingredients to the equation, then at the end, other individuals get to walk away with their significance intact, but you feel like a better person too. That's a mindset that honestly is lost on the narcissist. Now, in order to live out the significance paradox, there are certain ingredients that you have to have on the inside of you. And again, I want you to notice these are non-narcissistic ingredients. Ingredients like empathy, kindness, and self-restraint, a sense of fairness. You know, you have your issues, I have mine. Let's figure out how we can affirm each other, or at least understand each other in the midst of our differences. They're constructive, in other words, in the midst of conflict. And they like being an encouraging presence. So, in other words, if you want to convince other individuals that you're really a somebody, let them know you believe in them and you want to be a positive presence in their lives. And then at the end of all of that, as you walk away, they're going to say, hey, there goes a real somebody. That person's really significant. That's how it works in the healthy world. I don't think you're going to see that from the narcissist, but I'm hoping that can be a mindset that you can become committed to and anchor yourself down into. Be distinct from that narcissist that has that deeply insecure craving for being a somebody, and be a somebody by being that uplifting presence. I hope that's a mindset that you can become anchored in. Now, I do hope that you get benefit from videos such as this. If you've not already done so, go beneath the video here and hit that subscribe button. I know there are plenty of times when you have the things like this presented to you. It can stir up some thoughts, and you might even want to unpack it with a licensed professional counselor. All through my career, I've looked for people that I can refer to, and right now online counseling is so popular, understandably so, in this day and age. And we have a group beneath that is a trusted sponsor that can help you with online counseling. And if you need to unpack it with somebody, I strongly encourage you to do so. Avail yourself to that. In addition, we've put together our website, survivingnarcissism.tv, and my own drlescarter.com. We have a library that has a link to our books, and then we also have my online video workshops. A ton of stuff down there, actually. We even have coffee mugs. Do you feel significant? I want you to, and I want you to be significant and say, you know, as I do so, I want to bring as many people into it as I can. And as you're able to be that kind of person, you know what's going to happen? You're going to be able to find your sense of steadiness. You're going to be able to find your sense of goodness. And I'm hoping you'll be able to live in peace.